All right, welcome everyone. We're here to talk about something really important, turning those big, ambitious ideas into real, tangible results. This briefing is designed specifically for you, the governing body, to give you a super clear framework for taking our school's vision and transforming it into concrete goals that will really drive our success over the next 3 years. So let's dive right in.
So let's just start with the single most important question we can possibly ask ourselves. If we really truly nail this, what will actually be different for our students 3 years from now? This question. This is the heart of everything we're about to do. Before we even think about plans or metrics, we all need to have a vivid, shared picture of the impact we want to make. Every single decision from this point forward has to lead back to answering this question.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the why. Why strategy is so critical. Then we'll get into defining our core identity. From there, we'll get really practical, talking about the difference between our long-term vision and our short-term goals. And finally, we'll cover how we measure what actually matters. This is the path from that big, exciting idea all the way to getting it done.
First up, the strategic imperative. And I use the word imperative on purpose, because in today's world, having a clear, shared direction isn't just a nice to have. For any school that seriously wants to achieve and sustain excellence, it's completely non-negotiable.
This right here is why that alignment is so critical. I want you to think of a powerful strategic plan like a giant magnet. It pulls every single decision, from the budget we set to the people we hire, towards one common goal: the success of our students. Without that magnetic pull, you get a lot of brilliant, talented people working incredibly hard, but in a dozen different directions. True alignment is what creates unstoppable momentum.
So, the big question is, how do we actually create that alignment? Well, it all starts by crafting our core identity. This next part is your first big task as a group, to articulate the school's vision and its mission with absolute clarity. These two statements are going to be the bedrock for everything else we build.
First, let's talk about the vision statement. This is your North Star. It's that big, bold, exciting picture of the future we're all working to create. A great vision statement should feel aspirational. It's what gets people fired up to come to work every single day because it answers that huge question: where are we ultimately going?
And if the vision is our ultimate destination, you can think of the mission statement as the actual vehicle we're going to use to get there. It's totally grounded in the present. It describes what we do, who we do it for, and how we do it, day in and day out. Your mission is the practical, hardworking engine that makes that beautiful vision possible.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? The vision is all about the future. It inspires. The mission is about the present. It informs our daily work. You absolutely need both. Why? Because a vision without a mission is just a daydream. And a mission without a vision, well, that's just a job.
This brings us to a really, really crucial distinction. Let's call it the two horizons. We've got our timeless vision way out there on the distant horizon. Fantastic. But now we have to define the horizon we can actually reach in the near term. This is all about translating that big, inspirational why into a tangible what. This slide breaks it down so simply. Step 1 is our vision, that broad, aspirational why. But step 2 is where we define our strategic goals, the specific, measurable what that we have to achieve over the next 3 years. You can see how the goals act like a bridge, right? They're the concrete steps connecting where we stand today to that incredible future we envision. And now we're getting to the real heart of your assignment as a governing body, drafting those 3-year goals. This is the moment we move from theory and big ideas into a concrete, actionable plan. This timeline offers a really smart way to think about it. Instead of trying to make one giant leap to achieve a 3-year goal, you break it into manageable chunks. Year 1 is all about hitting those foundational milestones, getting the basics right. Year 2 is where you build on that, driving progress and expansion, so that by year 3, you're in the perfect position to achieve that ultimate strategic goal. It makes a huge objective feel so much more doable.
Okay, so we have our goals, awesome, but how do we actually know if we're on track? How do we know if we're winning? That is where measurement comes in. Because let's be honest, a goal without a clear metric is just a wish. We need to connect every single one of our goals to what we call key performance indicators, or KPIs.
I'm sure you've all heard this saying before, but it's a classic for a reason. What gets measured gets managed. It's just so true. The second you decide how you're going to measure something, that's where all the focus goes. Data gives us an objective scoreboard. It tells us, honestly, if we're winning.
and, just as importantly, where we might need to adjust our game plan.
Let's make this super concrete with a few examples here. Let's say a strategic goal is to enhance academic excellence. A great KPI for that? You could track the percentage of students meeting grade level standards. Or what if the goal is to foster a positive school culture? We could measure student attendance rates and satisfaction scores. You see how each KPI makes that big, abstract goal totally tangible and trackable. It answers that critical question, how will we know we've actually succeeded? So, to pull it all together, this slide gives you a really simple way to remember the whole framework. Your vision, that's your why. Your mission, that's your how. Your goals, that's your what. And finally, your KPIs, well, that's your proof. It's a perfect cascade from big inspiration all the way down to hard evidence. And that brings us to the end of this briefing. But really, this is just the beginning of your most important work. I want to leave you with this very focused question to guide your discussions. With our vision set, what is the single most important goal we must achieve in the next 3 years to make the biggest possible difference for our students? The answer you come up with, that will be the cornerstone of our entire strategic